All right, whew, we're doing the intuitive patterns for the month of January 2021. In the Osho Zen Tarot, I have exhaustion, morality, and suppression. In the medicine cards, I have the blank shield and the whale. In the Mayan Oracle, I have the card Men, universal movement, and dissonance. In the ancient Egyptian Tarot, I have the Queen of Cups and the Princess of Wands. In the Aleister Crowley Tarot deck, I again have the Princess of Wands, Cruelty, and Art. In the Healing Earth Tarot, I have the Grandfather of Shields, the Medicine Wheel, and the Five of Rainbows. And in the Words of Truth, I have Dichotomy, New Possibilities, Appropriate Relationship, Sexuality. Well, it's going to be a wildly interesting month, full of extremes when you get cards like that. So, looks like we made it to 2021, so while it feels that there is a long way yet to go and much to traverse, at least we are out of the intense year of 2020. And now we are in a number 5 year, 2021. And it's all about getting back to our bodies, our lives, our health, and what builds happiness. It is a year where we have to put a lot of work and effort into the pathway forward. After all, the number 5 year is about work, toil, and effort. But I do not think anyone is afraid of that after the tremendously emotional and spiritual straining that was going on in 2020. In reflection, 2020 was about expanding our minds, the number 2, doubled, and noticing the dysfunctional patterns that have trapped our souls to be a slave of the ego, double 2s. Attempting to find a new balance by honestly looking at the mind and the distortions that have kept us in fear and upset. While the mind did not know the way, the soul needed to slow down the body and get us back into a better harmony and balance, the number 4. And so we finished 2020 on the journey to reclaim our inner and outer balance. And to a large extent, I think we have done that. Now in 2021, the mind still needs to be addressed, the number 2, but there is a better perspective because of seeing things from the more objective vantage points of the number 3. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. It's a triangle. And yet the newly defined levels of importance have changed, which is the number 1. What is now important is that the people, the individuals, the I, we need to stand up for those hurting and suffering the most. We cannot wait. There is no more time. Egos, the number 2, are revealed as dysfunctional, deceptive, and deluded. Those egos have made a mess of things, and now there's a lot of work and effort, the number 5, that will be required to get us back towards a world that cares and has concern for everyone, all things, all life, and this beautiful planet. Okay, now on to the cards. As I said at the beginning, the Princess of Wands repeats and sets a tone for January, and that tone is higher learning. While this card is about grounded fire, for some reason that means it is time to get a job done, but also a warning that there is cunning and deception beneath the fiery flow. This card gives a hopeful enthusiasm to many, but it can make those that operate from a place of shallowness and self-importance highly aggressive. As Edward G. Bulwer Lytton said, "The prudent person may direct a state, but it is the enthusiast who regenerates or ruins it." This card indicates that we need to be realistic about our expectations and recognize that there is a long and very hard road ahead filled with obstacles intended to thwart all forward progress. Many are feeling already utterly exhausted from dealing with all the egos professing from a place of self-importance. In 2020, our job was just about keeping it all together. And now the true total cost of what has been happening shows the toll it has taken on all of us. There is a feeling of structures tumbling down and the house of cards collapsing under the weight of so much distortion. The armor each person has been carrying has become suffocating and too heavy a burden to bear. It is time to put down many things that do not serve the highest good of all. The feigned morality of desperate sinners is exposed as bogus. They were living in a thin layer lacking substance and principle. Awareness arises as a truth with virtue, respect, and honor. The suppression of truth has allowed those dark thoughts and dangerous beliefs to surface. It brought the world to a cultural place of obvious insanity. So much suppression without constructive action allowed that which had been hidden to explode into madness. The world was sitting on a volcano of hate that needed to explode in 2020, and now we have laid waste to many things that will have to be rebuilt. So be it, and so it is. What is clear is that there has been disappointment and a loss of faith on a massive level, but from the ashes, we are here to rebuild. We cannot allow the tremendous hurt to turn hearts into a wasteland of hopelessness. But the Grandfather of Shields shows us that we are in a renewed time of friendship with our environment. I'm looking forward to that the most. A time when nature can be allowed to just be and be allowed the resources to flourish. The wheel of life is turning and reminds us that in order for us to learn focus, we had to survive a time of total distortion. We had to be reminded of the dystopia of the horrors that mankind can and will inflict on our world without those whose consciousness is high, their values pure, and their heart intact. We have survived. We should be very proud of that. The great buffalo has come to guide us. The great bear has come to show us the power of embracing our silence. The otter has come to remind us of the joy in every moment and movement and to help us slide into this new reality. And the beaver is showing us how to rebuild and make things stronger and better. There is a distant call, a song for one and all. And from a distant shore comes the quest for more rapport. We see the kindness return. We feel the hearts that yearn. We know that progress goes and that truth will always expose. Thanks, everyone.